Let's make my Twinkle layer cake quilt pattern that you can piece together in no time. I am using Twilight by One Canoe 2 from Motive Fabrics. This collection is a little bit older, so you will have a hard time in finding it. But let's go ahead and get started. With each 42 count 10-inch square, you're going to cut a 45-degree line from corner to corner. And lastly, you're going to cut another 45-degree line on one of the half square triangles by using the 45-degree marking on your ruler and lining up your edges until it meets the corner. And that's it. You'll just repeat these steps to all of your 42 count 10-inch squares. Once everything is cut, you're going to take the bottom smaller triangle and rotate your fabrics around, and now it is time to sew everything all back together. So first up, we are going to sew the two smaller triangles together, and do take your time as we are going to be sewing on the bias. Then you are going to sew the larger triangle to your piece triangle. Now do note that it will be slightly larger than needed, so you will need to center your triangle and sew them together. Then afterwards, you will go ahead and trim your block down to an 8.5-inch square. Use the diagonal on your square ruler to help line everything up. Now I'm going to square each block once I've sewn all of my blocks together. But once all of your blocks are made, it is time to lay them out in a 6x7 block layout. You're going to start by rotating every other block 180 degrees, and shortly after, a scrappy diamond will start to appear. Then, as always, sew your blocks together to form rows, and then lastly, sew your rows together to complete your quilt top. And here is what my Twinkle quilt pattern looks like all finished. For the backing, I am using a coordinated print from within the collection. Then as for the thread choice, I am going with Pink Rose by Glide Thread. And here is what my quilt looks like all quilted. I've actually designed this edge-to-edge quilt pattern, which I will have linked down below in the description. This edge-to-edge pattern is called That Bubbly. Now, one 42 count layer cake will yield you a 48-inch by 56-inch throw quilt that you'll be able to whip up within a day. And if you want a bigger quilt, you can then use 2 layer cakes and form an 8x10 block layout, which will yield you a 64-inch by 80-inch twin size quilt, just to give you a few more options. And I do hope you have enjoyed today's tutorial. If you could please take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified for your next amazing quilt project.